Hello and welcome back to the STB League for Season 22 for the Chinese Grand Prix as we return to Shanghai International Circuits for this season, now for Tier 3. As you can see, we are starting our stream a bit earlier for today, considering Maldi's not the one commentating today. We thought it would start a bit earlier to get some qualifying in. Obviously, alongside me in the commentary box, we've got Silent Pistol, also known as Harrison. So, yep. Well, what do you think about what do you think about what's going to happen this race today? Do you think it's going to be good racing compared to last week?
So I feel like this is the last race in Australia. Of course, we had that moment with Maldi. Commentator's curse came in time and time again. I feel like it might happen again this race. There's just something that we can't escape is that wretched commentator's curse. But in qualifying, I do expect for Jamie to improve on his lap time of a 1:33.8. He's currently on his outlap, the Alpine, looking to set out on foot to try and overtake FX for that top spot. And I personally believe that JMO will, but I'm going to flip the question right back to you. Who do you think is going to be on pole here in qualifying?
Well, it's kind of hard to tell at the moment. Obviously, when you've got a few laps here, obviously you can try and see what's happened at the moment. We've got side effects already on a 33.2, so he's looking pretty confident at the moment, but I'm expecting some more lap time to kick in yet. Carl hasn't done any much practice. I'm not expecting him to get pole position, to be honest. But I'm hoping to see. I think a few drivers missing today. I don't know why. I feel like a few drivers are missing. I'm expecting Jamo to be up there. I'm not expecting Mal to be too high up today because it is Maldi's weaker circuits. I'm hoping some people can get the lap times in. So I'm going to say, honestly, from what I've seen recently, I think Side Effects has got a good chance here of getting pole position. He's got a dominating lead at the moment, and I feel like he's going to get it. And now from Romeo's gone round. I think that'll be Alpha Z. No, it isn't. It's Pirelli span again, as I predicted earlier. But yeah, I'm going to say Side Effects. He just looks like he's got the commitment and he's just got the gap so far. If he can improve on that, that's even more advantage. He's actually, he's half 10th up Side Effects. I'm going to call him Side Effects, just sounds better.
Yeah, I mean, confidence is so key, not just in F1, you know. Just flip the steering wheel when you want, be confident in the corners, and it will turn into a result. So, Side Effects, currently is, of course, on pole, and you're expecting him to keep it, but I do think that JMO will shortly round up his lap, as he's currently on that massive straight into Sector 3. Yeah. That is going to be making up
right behind him.
He is! Oh.
He's only 2 tenths up at the moment, so I think he's going to do what I did and gain like 2 tenths in the last corner.
I mean, there would have to be an astounding lap from JMO. I don't think he's going to get it.
Yeah,
and oh my god, he does!
He totally gained like 4 tenths in that last sector. And Side Effects going in and beating him. 33
Side
dead.
Effects just says, he just says, you know what, mate, you might have, Silent, you might have got your prediction correct, but I'm gonna snatch pole position right off your hands, and hopefully my teammate Maldi will be able to make it all red, all Ferrari at the front row here in China. Like you said previously, we were in a party. Maldi was having an absolute go at how he couldn't do a track, couldn't go to what gear, whatever, touching curbs and then spinning.
Oh, so use it off his gears. Never mind touching using what gear he has.
Yeah. He's going to round off this outlap. Of course, going to go on to his flyer. And I do believe he's going to gain some time. I'll patiently stalk him. Maybe there's something else going on down the order that I don't know of. I think most people coming into the pit lane now.
People are just waiting for the last laps out. Maldi's on his lap now. I'm going to stay on board with him. But into turn 1 he goes. Carry that speed in. Don't run too wide in this game. You want a bit wider than normal. Let's hit the apex nicely. Obviously, ultimate gears kicking back down to second gear. No short shifts for STB Maldi. Struggling to get the power down. And those gears, you're really interfering. Using a bit of curve on the inside. He's actually down, braking into the corner, get the car rotated. Probably a little bit slower than probably wanted to, but he's got traction down nicely. Now you want to turn in this latest dare here to try and open up the next left-hander. Maldi's having a couple of stabs of the wheel. He's a bit wide here. And he's going to this corner very tightly, and it's going to compromise his speed throughout the corner. He's not using all the circuit either, and it's just a very he's gone.
And
really
Maldi spins. There it should be. So Mr. Maldi, number think that's 69,
Number
maybe 59. I'm
He
not
always
too
runs
sure.
number 69.
Yeah, of course he does. Well,
I'm number 65.
he went round. Yeah. So Manny spins round and round he goes. Just a bit like you go round and round into that first turn. That's a 180-degree turn right there. It's extremely difficult to try and master. And so the drivers will be trying to make plenty of overtaking opportunities there. Which is quite difficult to do, I imagine. Of course, trying to keep your nose in, around the outside or inside, you know, for a full on 180 degrees must be quite a difficult task to conquer, but many people have done it. I'm sure we'll see some more in the actual race itself, as Maldi does come into the pit lane after that spin. And, well, you can see Moncho coming out here for a flyer lap.
Oh, Memo has a qualifying ban.
Memo does have a qualifying ban, and it doesn't look like he's going to serve that ban. So, what in return, Matthew, would that give Memo as a punishment?
I know I remember mentioning it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes it can include a race ban for the next race or for the race itself. I think it's kind of difficult to give you the ban for the race you're in because somehow it came out. But I think normally it's generally a race ban. But let's see if he actually does something. I know in leagues does allow you to do an out lap to get your setup locked in. And he's come back into the pits. I think he's just doing that, getting a setup locked in. Because sometimes it doesn't save his setup or whatnot. But if he doesn't set a lap, I'm happy him not to give him a penalty for that. As long as he doesn't set a lap, I'm alright with that. Personally, there's a league that does say you can't do that to lock your setup in.
Indeed, and well, right now Red is improving on his time. He's got a purple first sector. He's gained 2/10 in said sector. So Red now going to round off sector 2. What are the most difficult turns to try and get nailed on in the Chinese not only track but also Grand Prix in of itself, Matthew?
Well, certainly for the track, actually trying to drive it. Obviously, turn 1 and turn 2 is always very challenging. The car always wants to wash away from you. There's a lot of difficult tracks around this, difficult parts around this circuit. Turn 3 as well, getting our traction is always very difficult. And obviously, you've got the flat-out left-hander in the sector 2. It's always difficult. The inside curve always makes you spin. And then you've got the double left-hander at the end of sector 2, which is always very, very difficult to get right. It's very difficult to get the power down where you're trying to turn and accelerate at the same time, and it's the same thing again when you're going for that long right-hander onto that massive 1 kilometre straight. It's very difficult to get the power down now. We've seen quite a few people spin there recently in the tier 1 and tier 2, so I'm expecting more today from that corner. But yeah, but I mean, in terms of racing though, you've got the massive DR straight. It's always very easy to make a move up today, so some switchback moves being done. Maybe somebody wants to slither one up into turn 5 with a hairpin. They want to do a mean, absolutely steamroll it up the inside. Yeah. But yeah, I think it should be a good race. So we've still got some decent racing from the previous 2 races. Tier 2 was a bit more questionable racing at times. Same with Tier 1, but there was some good racing nonetheless as well alongside that.
And well, right now FX is on his flyer lap, trying to improve on his already 133 dead. Of course, JMO just behind with a 133.1, so a very shallow gap between FX and JMO himself. So of course he's going to look to improve that, but I should add that Red had gained 6/10 on his lap, and he's put himself up into P6. But can FX put him on pole?
Well, we'll see what Side FX can do for now. He is currently, I think he was up on the first sector, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what the second sector's delta says as he comes around a double left-hander. The second sector there. The second delta line is here. He's a 10.5 up. No purple second sector though, but he is carried that speed. And Maldi, I think, has just missed the start-finish line to start another lap. He's just missed the finish line, Maldi. And Maldi missing his time there.
As you can see right there, Sply just overtaking Maldi in the qualifying session, so he's going to be absolutely fuming. So Maldi is definitely not going to be the best of mindsets going into this Chinese Grand Prix. Is now FX will be rounding off the last turn. I just saw at the top right of my screen that JMO, in fact, didn't improve on his time. He's 26 thousandths off of his previous time. What can FX do? Can he expand the gap? He can. 132.9, 2 or so tenths off of JMO. JMO has got to have an absolutely astounding last few turns.
Yep, side effects, he actually lost half a tenth in that last sector. He was a tenth and a half up at the end of sector 2, so he did actually lose a bit of time there, so I wonder if that actually will hurt him. At the end of this lap, if JMO can get more time, no, he doesn't improve.
Indeed, and that's... Yeah. It's very difficult trying to like you said...
Adri gets P4.
He does, and that moves Maldi right down the order to P6.
Yeah, Waterfish has gone P3 as well, so I didn't see that. I thought Krago is off for the pace completely. He's 9.6 seconds down. And just waiting for Pirlo.
Indeed, sorry. Absolutely, my friend. But that should most indefinitely put side effects on pole here in the Chinese Grand Prix. A great qualifying session through in and throughout, and it sees the Ferrari on pole.
Yeah, certainly not the Ferrari as it was. I thought Mando didn't get on pole yesterday, on last week, was it? It was he decided third, didn't he? But yeah, it's interesting to see side effects. He showed some sparkling pace from last week, but unfortunately a mistake actually drops him off actually from a chance of a win. So it'll be interesting to see what he can actually do at the front of the grid for today. It'll be very interesting to see. But yeah, pole position for side there, with the only one to get into the 32s. But yeah, there is your grid order.
Thank you very much. And I'll run you through said grid order. Side effects, of course, taking pole, like we said, for the billionth time. But JMO closely following behind by 266 thousandths off. Waterfish in P3, Adri in P4, Sply in P5, Maldi P6, Red P7, Chaos P8, Monto P9, Krago P10, Yomas P11, Alpha P12, Tekers P13, Rafita P14, Elite P15, Pirlo P16, Papa P17, Memo P18, and Matador with the lonely P19. So how up? So how will this Chinese Grand Prix shape up for this Tier 3 grid, this Tier 3 race? What is your very early race predictions?
Well, side effects, like he's got a good point here. It looks like it might be a race between side effects and Jamo. A bit like how it was Danny and Danya from yesterday. Looks like there might be the two that might run away with this. But yeah, I'm going to say side effects. If he can reduce the amount of mistakes that he did from last week, I think he's got a good chance of getting a race victory here for Ferrari. I thought Sean Mardy would be slightly happy with that. But yeah, I think he's going to have it on here. But I was a bit surprised how big the gaps were. I know Tier 3 has a bit more of a wider range of pace compared to the other two tiers, but it was definitely a bit more bigger than I thought it would have been. I think China's just a bit more of a technical circuit than Australia, and I think it just splits up the grid a bit more.
Indeed, and if you recall from said Australian Grand Prix, Maldi of course took the win in that race, which put him in the championship for first place. Of course, he's got a 7-point gap to JMO just behind, who's in P2. So JMO, quite a big race to catch up on Maldi. Considering Maldi's much more further down the grids, of course JMO's going to look to pounce on this opportunity. This opportunity won't come anytime soon, so he's really got to make the most of this, hasn't he, Matthew?
Yeah, indeed, Harrison. So it'd be interesting to see how that works out. Bottom I need to look out for is people on tyre compounds as well. It's very interesting to see what people seem to start on mediums for today. Those mediums do seem to give you a lot more grip in this earlier point. Sometimes in tracks where it's not a big difference between the two tyre compounds, but I think around here there's a very big difference between the two tyres. I feel like it's just that much quicker, those mediums, but I still think the hards is the better way to go, because if you can keep a hold of it on this first and on those harder compounds, it will give you better options and a better position later on in the race as the Asimon goes onto the grass, which is Sply. So it'd be interesting to see how this works out, because Jammy's on the hards and Side Effects is on the mediums, so that's going to be very interesting how that works out. Side Effects will need to push as hard as he can to try and build a gap, as Yamas has been given a disqualification. He will start on 70-degree cold tyres.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not ideal. I mean, it would have been, of course, worse if you're on a hard set of compound tyres.
Yeah, cold tyres is cold tyres in the day, innit?
Is And something certainly affects JMO and Waterfish will look to avoid as they are warming up their tyres on this out lap, technically, formation lap. Right now, and you can just see Waterfish actually overtaking side effects.
Oh, the way contact.
Right there. Was there?
Maldy's been disqualified. He's on cold tyres.
Wow.
I swear it's a contact, but it was not Maldy that made contact. Or that's not the person I saw make contact anyway. And that might be Maldy on cold tyres as well, because I'm pretty sure it just resets your car temperatures. It doesn't save them from when the point where you get disqualified. The only point it doesn't actually delete your tyre temperatures is when you actually mess up the grid slot. Apart from that, if you get disqualified on the track, it just resets your tyres, which is a bit shame, a bit disappointing to be honest. But also one thing to stick out for is Jamo on those hards. If he can get ahead into turn 1, that can be crucial because he can keep ahead of side effects. That's going to hurt side effects' pace on those mediums and all the other people behind him, and it will just give an advantage later on when he has the better pace on those mediums later on in the race. So that if he can get that car ahead of that Ferrari, that will be crucial. But if it doesn't, he's got to stick behind him as close as he can.
So the main goal for Effects to get and keep. Well, no, actually, just to keep P1 at the moment. He's on the quicker set compound tyre, so he will get the advantage off the start. At least that's what we expect. So now we see the Red Bull and Mercedes just rounding up the formation lap, getting ready for today's exciting Chinese Grand Prix. We had some great battling with some with Tier 1 and for Tier 2, but now we turn our head and our attention over to Tier 3. As it is. 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go. Here for the Chinese Grand Prix in STB as Jabo still cannot try and get on side effects here. Into the first turn we go, and you can see a bit of a commotion behind. People spinning, people turning, people dropping down the order. That includes Matador. Oh, there's contact between, I think that's Audi and Waterfish, and they're both dropping down the order immensely. But Jamo, the gap over to side effects is now just about within a second. He really got to pick up the pace here in the early stages of the Chinese Grand Prix. Otherwise, this may not be a very clean race in terms of points for Jamo himself here. As here we go, Moncho looking down the inside of Yilmaz, the Haskar, forced to stay behind. You can see the Merc there of Memo just sliding onto the curbs, which allows Maldi to cut through into P11. Waterfish now looking for a move down the inside of Yilmaz. Yilmaz, though, still stays ahead of the Haskar. Sorry, Yilmaz still stays ahead of the Williams car, rather, I should say. But with this first lap about to be round off in just a moment or two, this has not been the start that JMO has wanted.
Yep, I'll just be curious, just one small point out. For some reason I've lost all MFD. Not MFD, sorry, all my HUDs. I've got no times or anything. I can't see what lap it is or anything. So I don't know when if that's going to come back or not, but I've got to go with this for now. If I don't, I might have to leave the game and come back. Because right now I've lost all HUDs. And that's Alfa Romeo, very close to his teammate. I don't know who it is, because I can't see who is who.
Well, I've got to say here, though, sorry to cut you off, but here comes the Williams of Waterfish getting 2 moves into that last turn, gets the overtake on Maldi, now onto the straight, has the better straight line speed, then Yilmaz into the next turn we go, round the outside, the Williams is looking to go of the Haskar, but the Ferrari of Maldi just lurking behind, trying to pick off a position between the two, but Waterfish stays stuck ahead of Yilmaz, but here's the opportunity that Maldi was looking to seize, and he has seized it for now, but there's still some going into that hairpin there that is so crucial for getting a million overtakes, and now Maldi's just got said overtake. Round the outside he went, he's able to get the overtake on Yilmaz, and now you can see he's lurking behind Waterfish, and now he's looking for a move, maybe round the outside into the next turn, almost contact between the two. He's looking to just stick behind Waterfish, maybe down the inside. Oh,
not going to work.
A little bit of a dangerous manoeuvre there, and the Ferrari's looking to stay behind. Well, he's not looking to stay behind, but he's forced to stay behind here. Waterfish still ahead. Here comes Maldi potentially down the inside, like we saw just a moment ago. No, staying behind now. Onto the straight we go. We know Maldi, of course, top of and keep the lead on the leaderboard, as now Mowley, look at how close he's getting into Waterfish. Could he look for the dive down the inside? I think Waterfish looking for the move on Monjo here. I think he will. Down the inside, he's going to go on the Aston Martin. The Williams might just have the better exit. Switchback maneuver, though, could be pulled off by the Aston between the two. Spun Monjo as Monjo, was trying to put power on the exit. My oh my, who do you think that fault was, Matthew?
I don't know. Maldi just turned around the corner, and I don't know if Maldi just seemed just wider than normal, or whether Moncho cut across Maldi. I don't know, but it's difficult to say. I will need to see Moncho's POV to see what it looks like from him, to see what happened. But it looked like Moncho just basically cut across Maldi. But at the same time, did Maldi not give him enough space? It's hard to tell. And also, I think with this lack of HUD, if I want to get all this stuff back, I will need to restart my game, because I don't see what else I can do to fix it. Maldi's up inside the Mercedes though.
He is, and they make
contact.
Maldi's
almost lost it.
Oh my, Memo just right into the side of Maldi there, and Maldi's lucky to not pick up any wing damage at least. I believe he hasn't. It's now into the next turn. He's probably going to be quite bad. And the fact that Mercedes, oh look at that! So clean manoeuvre down the inside now. Maldi goes. Maybe, just maybe, Memo can get the overtake though with the slipstream effect here onto this next short straight. Can he get the overtake? No, he's staying behind. Now, sorry. Give me a second. Okay, I'm good now. Onto this straight though, you can see Sply just up ahead. Oh Jesus! Sorry, I've got a cough. You can see Sply just up ahead. Has DRS on JMO and is looking to get the overtake on JMO quite soon, as JMO does have those hard set compound tyres. You can see him struggling so dearly on these
Williams now from Maritime side into the hairpin.
And they are actually down the inside though of Alpha. Great little bit of a dive bomb really, as they went side by side. Now here is Alpha looking to go round the outside now of the Williams, but no, he can't get the sneak peek, has to stay behind. But looking towards upfield once more, JMO has just been overtaken by Sply, and he is up ahead in P2. And like you've just said here, yellow flags as red overtakes. I think that's Tekker's. It is for the moment though, but Tekker's looking for the overtake right back, maybe down the inside, outside, who knows? Has to stay behind as Waterfish just lurking behind. Down the inside, he lurks, no longer in contact between the two. And a spin for both of them. What's your make on that collision between the two, Matthew?
It looked like one lost the rear end and then tangled with the other. I'm not sure who was where. I'm pretty sure, I think it was a Red Bull on the outside. It seemed like a traction loss. And then contact was made from the spin, and then both of them go round. So I don't know. We'll have to see the POVs, but it just looked like that. It just seemed like a mistake turned into an instant.
Indeed. So
I think, I think I might want to. If I can't see on my HUD, I think I might want to quickly restart my game.
All right. Alpha's
just keep my HUD up, Bob. So if you can just keep commentating over it, I'll keep the stream up. Because I can commentate from like this, but it's just so difficult when you haven't got the information, especially with the viewers. You can't see what they're seeing.
Yeah.
On track.
So I
want to quickly restart the game. I'll be literally 2 seconds.
Now, Jim is looking for an invite up the inside or outside. Could be looking for a manoeuvre very soon here on the Aston Martin. Has been looking for that quite soon now. It's paused on the stream right there, so it's just paused on the stream, so don't worry about it. There's no real commentary needed, I don't think. I think you're just loading back in now. You are. So JMO, he's got 5/10 gap here to Sply, just looking to get the overtake soon on the Aston Martin, but doesn't seem like anybody's real close to each other. Maybe just within 4/10, 6/10, but there hasn't been real overtaking chances for any car really up until this point, as you have joined back with us here.
Yep, Jamo's host, which is good.
Indeed. Now, JMO, he's going to have the DRS onto this next straight. The question is, can he catch up to Sply on the significantly slower tyres, as being shown by Side Effects' massive lead? DRS wide open now onto the straight. He's got the hard set compound tyres. Is that going to stop him though for diving down the inside? It it won't dive down the inside. He goes. The opposite might just look for the swing back maneuver. What
Oh, it's
wide by from J-Mo. Sply looking to go round the outside. I think J-Mo just has to be forced to stay behind, and he does with the DRS. He might look for the overtake once more now. Looking around the outside, gets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far, clearly showing that he has the pace to overtake Sply, and overtake he does. The Alpine moves up into P2.
Yep, I am back. I saw that bit of the battle there. HUD, I got my HUD back up so I can see all the timings and the lap times and all the map and stuff. So it'll be a lot easier to track where everyone is now.
Go. As you can see, Sply running very deep into that hairpin. And, well, I think he's going to lose just a bit of time to J-Mo here, but this is a battle for second place.
McLaren ran us elite.
Elite going round. I think he got lapped already. Yeah, this is not being the strongest of showings for elite. He's not been too elite on track, but chaos a span. The Mercedes dropping down the order. And I don't know if he made contact with Reds or it was just a little bit of a slip on the throttle. But Chaos is down to P7, and with his teammate Memo just lurking behind, maybe those two will have some action between them.
Gone.
He has left the session, but will J-Mo have to leave Sply running ahead of him here as we have DRS for the Aston Martin looking down the inside potentially here on J-Mo down the inside. He will look to go. Maybe a switchback could be pulled off by the Alpine. No, he's looking to just keep it around the outside, and he still kept it around the outside. Now to the inside. The Alpine will go into the next turn. Is he going to be able to keep this P2? No, J-Mo forced to stay behind, but you can see that he'll have the DRS going on to the main straight here, as now into the first turn we will shortly go. The question is Sply going to stay ahead? He will, and Sply back up into P2.
Yep, those mediums just giving a little bit extra pace at the moment. Not quite falling away yet. Those mediums are good for at least another 5 laps before they pit. They say they can claim to do 16 laps according to the game. So people did about 20 laps of them, got punctures. That was 2 laps of safety car. So, but yep, he has obviously got more grip on those tyres. If he can push, not actually slow J-Mo down, then I think J-Mo wouldn't be too annoyed about it. As long as J-Mo can stay behind him and Sply's pace is quick enough to keep up with side effects, I think J-Mo will take that for now. There's more yellow flags. I think that's elite span again. I think. Oh, and there's an Alpine round as well. That's I think that was an Alpine. That was J-Mo. J-Mo just span. J-Mo just span.
Oh my, and Sply is running away with P2 now after a catastrophic mistake by J-Mo, and Sply with faster compound tyres, and now could be closing the gap on effects. The pit for J-Mo might be well, more than expected maybe after that spin. It's really going to shake up his strategy as a whole, as whilst you were talking, I did manage to catch Bowdy getting an overtake on Yilmaz. Went down the inside into the first turn. Clean sweep manoeuvre, no contact at all between the two. And now you can see Watterfish now diving down the inside on Memo here. And now he's got his teammate for company just up ahead. And now Watterfish looking for the overtake here with Memo. Trying to look, round the outside. He's got DRS going on to the main straight. Bit of contact and Memo goes wide. Here comes the Williams looking for the overtake. No, I think that the Mercedes just running wide. Just allowed down inside.
Oh, he just slid on the inside here.
Is a lunge and a half, but is he going to get the overtake on the inside? The Mercedes looking to still keep it. He hasn't kept it. My oh my, how difficult is that to do round the first turn? A great overtake from Watterfish.
Yeah, he's just caught him going a little bit wide. Like I said, the tight line does wait for him to slip on the inside, and you've got the inside for turn 2, and if you can really get control of turn 3 and get around the outside, you can get the move done there. Especially caught people sleeping. Like I said, you think normally the outside would do better, try and get one around the outside, but for some reason in this game it's always better to take a tighter line through there than a wider line. So he's got the move done nicely. That's the thing, when somebody's that close, you really got to keep it tight to make sure no one can slither one up the inside like that. And he didn't do that, he was just ran a little bit too wide. Although he took the observation line, it's not the fastest for that section of the corner. Doesn't matter how quick you are, a bit over the corner. If you're not quick enough into the corner, then you're going to lose it before you can get a chance to get to the bit where you're normally faster at.
Indeed. And I've got to point this out. Maldi is within DRS of Red, but he has used quite a bit of ERS, and he's using it once more to try and catch up to Red. He's already within 1 second. He's just hovering around said 1 second zone. So Maldi really making a comeback for himself, Matthew.
Yep, obviously he had that moment early in the race on lap 1. I'm surprised he didn't actually lose more time, to be honest, on that, but yeah, he's just trying to recover himself. Just like Maldi not being happy with this track, I think Maldi would take probably a P4. But at the moment, but for now, Maldi's on those medium tyres. He will be on a slower tyre towards the end. But then again, majority of the people around him are going to be in the same case, apart from Jamo, Air from Red, and Chaos, who are all on the hards at the moment. So they'll be on a faster tyre towards the end of the race, which will come in crucial. And it will certainly elevate them later up in the race.
Indeed it will. And Pirillo, by the way, got the overtake on Matador. It was about 2 laps ago. Was able to just use solely DRS on the straight, just on the left-hand side of the Red Bull. And he was able to put himself up into P17. But Watterfish, we know he got the overtake on Memo. And the question is there going to be team orders from Williams to just let Watterfish go by? Considering he considerably does have the best speed, what do you think, Matthew?
These guys have no communication with each other in terms of any contacts, but whether those want to be respectful teammates, just mutual teammates as it is, maybe they will, but we'll see. But these guys, not like they have any communication between the two drivers, from what I know of. I don't think Andrew even speaks English, but it doesn't look like he's going to make it easy. Yep, he's just going to let him through. He doesn't have to do that. Not exactly. Always, he got very close to the back of him, but yet moved on. I'm sure Waterfish will appreciate that. I mean, say Andrew didn't have to do that, but he chose to.
Yeah,
so
just good stuff for the Williams, and like you said, it's very close actually for connecting on the back side of his teammate. And well, Maldi, we saw him just hovering around the 1 second zone. He's now got 5/10 on the AlphaTauri, now slipping a little bit on that on the exit of said turn, and almost got the spinach. So the AlphaTauri, of course, going to be on the slower tyres than Maldi. But what have you made about Maldi's race so far, and how do you think, what's your going to be predictions for later on the Grand Prix, where's he going to finish, etc, etc?
Well, like I said, Maldi had a very unlucky start, obviously contact with, I think it was, I don't know who it was actually, talk about contacts and yellow flags, as Butterfish is round.
And
got
he
myself
is...
off there.
Sorry, I was just
Not
messaging
sure
someone.
Contact. I'm not sure if that was contact or whether it's an actual spin, but he dropped him even further down. I'm pretty sure he was the one that had the spin early on with the contact with another car. So that's his third moment that he's had in only a few laps. So he's lost a lot of time here, Whitefish.
I mean, I had a massive, exclamation kind of ooh moment, because Maldi going on the exit of, I think that's turn...
Matador round.
Oh, he is. Yeah, Matador not having a great Grand Prix, last on the grid, of course. And, well, it's not been a good race entirely for Red Bull. You know, P12, P18 both out of the point zones. They're going to be looking to improve on that, of course. They want to fight for the constructors. They currently have 0 points on the board after the Australian Grand Prix.
That's a very early stop. I mean, he can do that. He can pit when he wants. It's hard to do 22 laps. According to the game, but he can pit when he wants unless he got some damage. No,
sorry,
just a normal pit stop. And somebody else in the pits as well. That is Memo. Both of them going for a bit of an early stop here. Get a bit of an undercut.
Potentially, maybe Maldi could look for that on red. He made the mistake going onto the massive straight in turn 3.
Yeah, I mean he's going to get an undercut anyway because he's on the softer tyres. Maybe Maldi want to do a few more laps on these tyres.
Oh, but look.
But then again, if he doesn't want to be stuck behind for too long, try and get the move done. But if Maldi wants to get the undercut done now, I mean, just means he's going to be on worn and hard tyres towards the end of the race.
Yeah.
Well, if Red will be on fresher medium, so whether Maldi want to stretch it out a bit longer and then have better tyres to the end, or whether they want to pit earlier, schedule stop is lap 12 for these mediums.
Oh, but look at the speed that he has now already. He's got DRS, not even using ERS, but look at the speed that the mediums have compared to the hards. And Maldi just flying through. Red just has to wave goodbye as now Maldi moves up into P4 with that confident medium set tyres. Is he going to go into the pit lane? He will.
Yeah, the pits, yeah.
So,
Mario
yeah.
covering himself off, really. I mean, I think it is around that sort of lap time. You want the pits. So, Maldi's in the pits.
Just will
Again,
anyone
still a bit
follow
early than
suit?
expected.
Okay, there's someone else in the pit lane. I think that's Watterfish, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he was got these mediums, to be honest. He had a couple of moments on them. I'm just won't be surprised they're a little bit more worn than everyone else's. More flags. Now Tower at Alpha Romeo. I think he's just reset to the track. I saw that on the map. He reset to the track. So might be getting another cheeky penalty there. Can't reset your car to the track. It is against the league rules for professionalism and just simply for safety of the other drivers, because you do just teleport straight back onto the circuit and it can catch people off guard. And there's an Aston Martin around. That is Moncho, I believe. Moncho's around. Not what he needs in this point in the race where it's really critical during his pit stop window.
Indeed. And, well, we really haven't touched on it at all, but side effects. I mean, the gap now that he has to Sply is absolutely huge. I mean, this man has just performed so well so far in the Chinese Grand Prix. The only thing he can mess up is his pits, in which he will go into the pits. Is he going to get a time penalty? This would be absolutely crucial for the race that he doesn't get any penalties. So, side effects just cleanly into the pit lane, and Sply will actually follow suit, and that will mean that JMO will take P1 in the Grand Prix, of course, having those hard set compound tyres. So, where do you see JMO, if he's going to gain time or lose time to side effects? What do you think is going to happen between the two? Are they going to get into another battle, or is it game over for JMO?
I mean, he was already about 12 seconds behind before he even pitted side effects. So by the time he comes into the pits, that gap's going to be about 15, 16 seconds. When that meter is, when he obviously closes that gap down on those fresh hards, also with a bit extra pace for the first few laps. This has been a Memo's round again at the hairpin. Not been a good race for Memo so far on those fresh hards as well. But yeah, I just don't think it's a tall order now. By the time he comes back out of the pits, he's got to gain 15 seconds or something like that. Probably around that sort of point by the time he comes out of the pits. And to do that on a set of mediums with only about 13 laps to go, that's a very tall order. You've got to be over a second lap faster a lap and then overtake him to get that race victory. It is a very tall order.
Indeed. I mean, I don't see it either, to be honest. I mean, JMO, that spin just crucially cost him everything, really.
Yeah,
in the
cost him a good
Grand
7-8
Prix.
seconds.
Yeah, and now...
Yeah, flags. That's a Fita. 2 spins happening now.
Indeed, I mean, it is to be expected. The Chinese Grand Prix... actually with 3 seconds now. Definitely not what the Williams needs. They were trying to catch up to Yilmaz. That will practically... will kind of cancel out the progress he's already made on said Haas car. But now Moncho, after the spin, looking to restore himself as he's got the DRS on Maldi, and Maldi's just looking behind his shoulder, wondering when is this Aston Martin going to try and go for the overtake.
I wouldn't be surprised if Maldi just overtook him, because Moncho's on old hards and Maldi's on fresh hards. I wouldn't be surprised if Maldi's just made a move on him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Moncho will have the
Maldi
DRS.
just isn't good through that second sector, I don't think.
It's gonna be interesting to see whether Moncho can get within DRS. I mean, right now 1.1 isn't
1.1,
a very
10
tricky
of tyres.
Yeah, so if he can get the gap down to 1 second, good. But then he's got to go for the overtake. Do you see that happening?
The Haas against Fita's gone straight on at the hairpin, look like on the map.
So Rafita really not having a good race, and he meets his F1X buddy of Matador, who greets him into the
Papa
last
does as
place.
well.
Oh, you can see side effects right now. Really catching up over to Red. He's got DRS. I mean, it's obviously expected. He's on
It hasn't.
the hard tyres. He's not going to look for the overtake. Maybe he will. Maybe he's the madman. Side effects.
Yeah,
Maybe
he didn't have the DRS because obviously caught all that time through that long right-hander.
Yeah.
How much more grip he has.
Indeed. And, well, into the first turn, I feel like I see side effects just going down the inside of Red, the AlphaTauri here. So we're going to go on board with them. You can see the speed that the Ferrari has. Going to look down the inside into the first turn. And I think it's just going to be a clean sweep manoeuvre. Nothing really for Red to fight in, as the red car of Ferrari is able to overtake the AlphaTauri.
Jamo needs to pick this lap. 30 laps on the mediums is, I think, a better way to go. Get on those mediums as early as possible. Get on those highest mediums and go and try and give as much time as catch up as possible. If you lead, the longer he leads on those hard, the longer he leads staying out on his hards, the more time he's just going to lose. He needs to pit now. Jamo does if he wants any chance of winning this. But by the time he comes to the pits, he's going to be about 70-80 seconds behind at this rate. So it's really not good for Jamo at the moment. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Side effects looks like he's just commanding this race at this moment in time. As Cargo and Waterfish having a bit of a fight here through the first sector. Cargo on those mediums, but Cargo is yet to make a proper pit stop yet.
Waterfish.
Waterfish. Very questionable line.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Warm
cut
mediums versus fresh hards.
Let's take a looky then, and Craigo's still looking for around the outside! And, well...
And round he goes. 360 to be exact. I'm pretty sure Waterfish will at least be happy that at least the car is facing the right way. I'm pretty sure that's like his 4th spin today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure who's at fault there. I mean, I'm looking just back on the stream right now. From my camera angle, it looked like Craigo went straight into Waterfish, but now looking at the stream, it looks like that Waterfish just kind of maybe turned into him just a tiny bit. Yeah. So, not too sure what the streamers will make of that one, but, I mean, side effects, he will be running away with it, and Jamo has not pit this lap. I'm sure you believe that's going to be horrible for the Alpine.
I mean, he's lost a second already, just from when I mentioned it earlier, and that's just he's just losing time by staying out on his tyres. Moncho's doing exactly what I said to do, and he's pitting now. You want to be on his mediums. I would have actually pit lap. Lap 15 is best. I always pit a lap earlier than it normally says. Getting on his mediums as early as possible is crucial. Getting on as possible and just carry that pace to the end. I'd rather be on the slightly more worn hard mediums as long as it gives you more pace for further on through the stint than normal. But yeah, that's how it is. So I think that could be crucial. But even if he did pit up earlier, I think I don't think he's going to get it anyway. But this definitely hurts his battle with F1 Red and Sply. Adri's left the session.
Indeed, and that's unfortunate for the Williams. But Craigo, I might add, he's had 2 stops in this Grand Prix compared to everybody else having only the 1 stop. Memo, by the way, gaining the most positions. He's gained 8 positions so far. So the Mercedes actually doing quite well for himself. And yeah, in terms of tyres, I mean, Papa, Rafita, and Red, Chaos, and Jamo haven't pitted yet to go on to those new fresh tyres, but Red will go into the pit lane. Has Jamo
says that again.
Yeah,
He's not going for the softs, is he? Because that would be stupid. Because he's got to do at least another 3 laps on his tyres. Those softs go off after about 5 laps, and they'll probably get a puncture after about 8 laps.
Well,
they claim to only do 8 laps, those softs do, and trust me, after seeing in Australia, that's about they go off about 5 laps they do. And it's the same sort of circumstance around here. And lots of yellow flags going on. That's a safety car! And Jamo's just been gifted Jamo's just got a very lucky here, and so is Chaos. I mean, Side Effects will still get the victory. Side Effects will still get the leads because there's only 6 seconds between the two. But the thing is now, does Side Effects pit? Does he have an extra set of mediums to use that he can put on?
That would be quite crucial.
Yeah, because last thing he wants is to be on full uphold hards compared to Jamo's fresh mediums.
I mean, when it's safety car didn't happen. I mean, when you go talk about softs to the end, I don't know if it'll be too bad.
Softs won't go to the end. No, softs won't go. No way. Impossible. They'll do 7 lap, 8 laps. They'll do 8 laps and they'll be shot. Still got 11 laps to go.
Short a little bit, like potentially Maudi's chances at getting the World Championship. He's currently 5th right now in the Grand Prix. So I think all the hard set compound tyre runners might go into the pit lane. As you can see, JMO pits. That is just what you see.
Does. So like stays out. He is staying out. He either doesn't have enough fresh air mediums, whether he used the set in qualifying or didn't have one at all. Don't know if he's changed his tyre compound slightly, because you can ask for only 1 set of mediums, there are 2, but it seems like he doesn't have the next set of mediums that he needs.
Oh,
and set of mediums on for Jemo. So
and Jemo
FX does not go for the option.
Sorry.
For the extra set of tyres.
Yeah, and JMO goes on to the mediums as per predicted. So no funny business with JMO. Get on those mediums, get up into the, well, he's already up into the podium positions. He's just looking for that the P1. Of course, right now the 7-point gap, I believe, would deteriorate, and I think JMO would take top spot in the championship as it stands. That would be the case. So JMO right now, he's on top of the leaderboard. He just needs to keep P3 and maybe go beyond P3, go P2, P1 even, and then I'm pretty sure the reign basically of Maldi at top spot for one race will be shortly lived. As JMO now lucky, but the question is, can he get the overtake from Sply or side effects even?
We'll see. I mean, he's got the tyre advantage, considerable tyre advantage on them now. He's on 5 fresher, softer medium compound tyres. He's going to be rapid for the rest of this race, and so is F1 Red behind him. And Chaos also over here, got Adji on 7 lap old hards. He's going to be really lacking. Therefore now he's going to really struggle. I would have pitted if that was him. He's got nothing to lose by pitting, and it seems like he's just lost that. He's lost that ability to do that. And yeah, medium's definitely the way to go. It's the advantage of keeping extra hard mediums for these sort of tracks where the soft tyres are very useless in the race. It's actually better to save the set of mediums for the set of instead of the set of softs, purely because those softs are just that useless.
I mean, well,
Adri might have a chance to box here if he does want to. He does still have the option. They haven't quite caught up to the safety car. Does he pit? He doesn't. Big mistake here. Unless he just doesn't have enough set of mediums, then it's fair enough. But yeah, it's still too early for the softs.
I'm just wondering if people might gamble on those softs. I mean, when you look at when you look at Rafita, you can see how much behind he is. Maybe he'll just gamble on it. Maybe the size will be like around 5% will be go under or away, which would be very rare to have, of course. I mean, it would be an absolute risk and a half to try and gain positions. I don't think it's a risk worth taking.
Plus you want to leave it as late as possible. So you wouldn't want to pit this lap either. You would have pit the lap after, but thinking he's so far behind, you'd be just burning those softs out before you even do get the restart. I don't know why he's going so slow for, because there's no delta.
Yeah. Bit odd from Rafita, but I do agree with you that it's a bit odd for side effects not to pit.
It's just gone straight off the circuit, Rafita. I think he forgot what the brake pedal was.
He forgot what the brake pedal was, and yeah, like you said, the Haskell just back of the grid, not really putting down the throttle. I mean, what do you think is going to happen on the restart? Because of course you have side effects, you have Sply, and JMO, most importantly, would be much quicker. 5 lap better, grippier mediums. So, how quickly do you see JMO overtaking these two up front? And is it a matter of when, not if?
Yes, I think it will happen. I won't be surprised if Gemma gets past the 2 in about 2 laps before the DRS re-enables. I honestly think that's going to be the case, because it's just going to give you an extra. He's going to be a second and a half lap faster on those tyres now. No doubt about it. So I'm interested to see how they defend from it. But it's got to defend for their lives. They've got to hold on as long as they can. I hope Gemma's tyres do slow down later on in the stint, but it's going to be crucial to keep him behind. But it's going to be very difficult to do so with those extra grippy tyres. Same with Adri as well. Adri's going to lose on multiple places here. Waterfish is also basically in the mud as well.
There's a McLaren's in the pit lane. That is
Prago in
Creo.
the pits.
That is...
I wonder if he's going for a set of softs.
Maybe. I mean...
It's pushing it, but it's not completely out of it now. It's
soft it is?
It's possible. He's pushing it here. He's going to be very careful on his outlap. He does not burn out these tyres, because if he does, that's 10% gone before he even really restarted the race. You know what I mean? You do not want to burn him out. You want to be using in the actual race pace, but you need to make sure he's ahead of the Alfa Romeo, which he is. But he's going to make sure he stays slow on them. Don't burn him out.
I believe...
Getting up to temperature.
I believe the pit from Craig is actually a good one. I feel like... I mean, of course, when you compare to everybody else on the grid, of course, they'll have the mediums, but he's got fresher softs, which is going to obviously give him the advantage. So... Really, I do see him moving past into the points. I think maybe I'll see him getting 7th, honestly, with the speed that he will have on those softs.
Yeah, I think those softs are going to be very quick, but I think it looks like they claim to do 8 laps. And if this is going to be 8 laps of running in racing conditions, and he's just done an outlap under the safety car. So he's really going to be pushing. These tyres are going to be very, very worn towards the end of the race. The first 5 laps, he's going to be rapid, but the last 2 or 3 laps, he's going to be struggling. Because those tyres will drop off really quickly, and it will catch you off guard. Because suddenly you've gone from lots of grip to having almost no grip very quickly. Your lap times will drop off by about 3 seconds after about 5 of the laps.
Well, indeed. And the safety car, you will have seen, comes in this lap, and side effects
guys.
dictating the pace. Yeah, you better bunch up. I don't know why they're dropping off so hard.
We saw what the guy said yesterday. They were going before the hairpin because he backed them up that well, and then went to caught everyone off guard. Side effects hasn't done that. He's left it late. He's just going to go down the last corner.
Indeed, he will. When is he going to go? And he's gone. He's gone.
Onto
the straight now, it's very late, and Sply has read him brilliantly. And now potentially round the outside, Sply could look to go. J-Mo, look at the speed that he's got on the Aston Martin, looking to go down the inside. What an absolutely brilliant maneuver down those tyres. Just so much for grip. This is absolutely fantastic for J-Mo. The overtake, clean sweep, and dusted. He hunts down for the Ferrari next, and maybe he could get another lap.
Cargo. And lots of going down in the midfield. Tekkas is down, dropped down to last, he's retired. A lot has been happening down the midfield. Everyone was changing places, and Cargo's actually lost places at the moment during this restart. He's on those soft tyres, looking to make a move. Look inside, oh, he has to back out there. Don't touch the inside curb, Cargo. That will make you spin. Okay, he got away with it.
And will side effects get
round
away?
Outside, Cargo up the inside into the double left-hander. He's got the grip to do so. You've got to give him room. He has given a bit of room, but he's got the move done. Those soft tyres are going to be done now, and Jamo's now right back of side effects now.
Indeed. I was going to say, but can side effects really get away from JMO? Because JMO is going to be breathing down this Ferrari's neck at every single turn. This is how intense it will get. Right up until the line. The question is, can side effects get the edge? Can he just perform a Fernando Alonso, really? Just keep on defending. Oh, indeed, Maldi up the inside, red, looking to defend round the outside, and he does. So Maldi, eager to look up a position, but he can't move up said position. And Membo, like you just informed me, dropping down the order bit by bit by bit. And that's J-Mo with the overtake here on side effects. And now he went round the outside. Side effects looking to come right back at the Alpine, and he does, side by side now, going into the second turn here in China, but J-Mo just has the better grip, and he pulls away from the Ferrari. The Ferrari, though, will be fighting against J-Mo with every living bit of his body, maybe down the inside. No, the Alpine gets the overtake on side effects, and J-Mo could be pulling away from this.
well, Fish made a mistake, but yeah, Jamo on those tyres, like I said, they should have pitted. If they had the option to do so, they should have took it. There was no loss of risk. Even if they lose the position, you still have a chance of fighting for it. But those hards, you've got nothing to fight for. You've got nothing to fight for on those tyres. Even if you lost second place, first place, and your second place on those mediums, at least you can fight it to the end. But on these hards now, he's going to struggle to keep up with them. He's going to really have to try and hang on and somehow pick some pace somewhere and really surprise Jamo. Do not let Jamo get any sort of rhythm going. As soon as Jamo finds some pace and finds and settles down on his tyres, he's going to be gone. And same with Adri, but Adri's actually up to 4th place here. I don't know how the hell that's happened. Despite starting like 7th in the restart, Maldi's now touched the back of him. Maldi's got his way past Chaos up the inside of the Alpha Tower. You've got McLaren and Cargo making even Moncha on those soft tyres. Moncha's on 6 lap hold mediums. Cargo's actually overtook Moncha off the circuit there. Very, very cheeky by him. That bump really catches. You can see the car's jolting over that. And Moncha actually backs out of that.
And well,
Cargo, but he's careful. The softs also are prone to overheating, especially if you haven't adjusted your tyre pressures. They were right in qualifying because you got 1 lap, but in the race, you've adjusted it for those harder compounds. These softs will overheat if you're not careful.
well, Maldi now looking for the move here on Adri round the outside. He'll go of the Williams touching tyres, but on the exit, I believe Adri, despite the hard tyres, has the bare exit. But no, Maldi comes straight back at him, and that is just clean sweep manoeuvre. Nothing.
Maldi's on a shot for P2 here.
He really is. He's got so much pace. So much grip, and I don't think that this would actually put JMO first place in the leaderboard. I'll have to do some maths real quick as Grego goes
Jamo
round.
came second, didn't he? So if Maldi gets second place, they'll be equal on points.
Yes, yes, indeed. So that'll be going right down to the wire next week in Abu Dhabi. But this week,
Cargo's gone.
The talk is about Side Effects versus JMO. Side Effects is out of DRS. JMO is going to be surely running away with this.
The Alpha Romeo's having a battle here into the hairpin. Oh, Alpha Z's just not really giving him much room. I'm sure Alpha Z will make the big move stick. Definitely quickly drive out of 2. But he has got a penalty, so he's got to be careful. He doesn't get any more, but he will lose a couple of places. But he should keep. He might actually drop out the points here, Alpha.
So, I'm just wondering now. Maldi 2.2 gap last lap, now 2 seconds, gaining 2/10, and Pirillo, gets overtaken by Yilmaz. So that Alfa Romeo, slipping down the order, trickling bit by bit, as Red looking to get on the back of Adri. I mean, it won't really matter because Adri does have that wretched penalty, so it shouldn't really matter too much as well. I mean, Side Effects, he's not catching up at all to JMO. JMO is running away with this with about 5 laps left to go. I mean, just really poor strategy by Side Effects, and JMO was able to capitalise.
Yeah, I'm just questioning why Side Effects just didn't pit, and same as Bly. I'm just trying to think now what Side Effects can do. I mean, the only thing you can hope for is Jamo's tyres to go off. But those tyres, they won't go off. They'll only be 10 laps old by the end of this race. They won't go off those means. Those means are good to the end. I think Side Effects is not going to win this race. After dominating, clearly had the pace, dominating this race, was 15 seconds ahead at one point. And he's gone and lost it. I mean, it's unfortunate in the safety car, but the option was there and he didn't take it, and he's been punished for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to create such a sound effect, but I just saw Red go straight into the back of Adri. I mean, into that hairpin with about, 2 turns left to go. I mean, Red really poor, just straight into the back of Adri. Surely that's wing damage. Actually, doesn't seem to be any wing damage. I think he's somehow gone unscathed with that. I mean,
he might be that lime green damage if it isn't. Lime green damage that you can't actually physically see, but it's just there lingering. But then it is reduced damage. If it's right on the front nose, you can get away with it.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what Redwood's thinking
Oh,
there.
Memo's gone.
Just, I think, brake too late, straight into the back of Adri. Adri was so lucky
Oh,
to not
Chaos.
spin. What's happened with Chaos?
Oh, I think that's lag a little bit there. But it went off the circuit very wide at one point, and I think he's just had a bit of it. And there he goes, lagged out. I just said he was lagging, and there we go.
Yep.
Oh, I was about to pause it and give it the position, but the Williams and the thing's gone. That's Adri and F on red. I just paused the game to about to bring Chaos back in, and never mind, they collide. That's what a fish. It was Adri, wasn't it? They can't get away from each other today for some reason. They've got magnets on their cars.
Well,
Anyway, where was I? Yes, I was about to bring Chaos back in because he's P5.
well, I would just like to add a little bit of information. We said that Maldi would be going on the running for P2. It doesn't seem like he'll get P2 any longer. He had 1.8, you know.
Oh,
just
his
a
AI's
minute
pitted him
ago.
as well. Oh. Whether he got damage from that, I don't know. But maybe the game shouldn't think he's going to pit. He's on 7-lap old mediums.
Yeah, that's poor from the game.
There's no pace in the front wing. Why is it pitted him? F Red's out as well. He's retired in the pit. He's gone straight on in the pit lane. But I don't know why the AI's pitted Chaos. He was in no position needed to change tyres. I don't know why it's done that.
Yeah.
I don't know why they pitted. I don't know why it's pitted Chaos. It's just ruined his race. If he had the option to come back, that's really ruined his race. That's really unfortunate. But then again, at the end of the day, it shouldn't be disconnecting. If the internet's having issues, he always has internet issues, and he's just never been fixed. And Maldi just isn't catching up here. He's only gained a couple of tenths over the last like 3 or 4 laps. And it doesn't look like Maldi's going to be able to catch up to these guys. It might have to set down for a P4, which I'm pretty sure Maldi be happy about. Pirol's round again. Pirolo has pirouetted as usual.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just watching now the grid being kind of formed up, shaped up, and really the action is really the lower half of the grid. I mean, you see Craig get very close, but he's on AI, so I don't necessarily think it's that much worth commentating on. But Chaos gets those 3 seconds, so he, even if he overtakes Craigo, won't help him out at all. As Maldi, now that gap, I did say just a moment ago, you know, he wasn't really gaining that much on him. He was like 2 seconds after he had a 1.8 second gap, but now he's got it down to 1.3, and potentially Maldi could be within the DRS, so that is so key to be climbing up the order with the last few laps of this Grand Prix, isn't it, Matthew?
It is, and Butterfish gets a penalty, and Papadelva's a span, and Papadelva's was in the points, and Papadelva's just lost it. Papadelva's actually, fortunately, Papadelva's normally one of the weaker drivers here. He's on actually for some solid points, and he's lost it now. A big mistake. It's cost him an indefinite points finish now, and he's lost it, and that promotes Chaos back into the points. But Chaos, unfortunately, he's just picked up his own penalty, so Chaos can't rely on penalties to catch back up now. He's got to do that on pure pace. That's what Feature seems to span again. But yeah, Marius put a gap down a little bit this lap, but that's 1 lap. He's gained some time. And he's only got 1 more lap to do this now. Marius got 1 lap now to get a move done, to get onto the podium positions.
I mean, those podium positions are going to be so key come the end of the season, whether he gets the championship or not. Yet again, early stages, of course, in the season. But I mean, when you win a Grand Prix in the first start of the season, you really put your name on the map. Now, Maldi just needs to make sure he expands his adventure on that map and making sure he can win the championship. Right now, he is within 1 second, but now as we flick towards lap 28 of 28, we turn our attention to the man who is currently leading the Grand Prix by quite a few seconds. And well, we thought that Gemmo messed up. Really, we thought maybe he was going to go on softs, as well. He was burning out his hard tyres very early on in the Grand Prix, and well, questions were arising. We were asking whether softs would be on the cards for Gemmo to play out. He decided not to play them, and with that, he got the extreme fortune of a safety car being allowed onto track limits. and JMO was able to put himself into the pit lane for new mediums. He came out the pit lane in P3 with two of the front winners, Side Effects and Sply, ahead. They decided not to pit on mediums, and we couldn't quite understand why, as JMO now, as he will try and round off lap 28 of 28. He pits under the safety car after losing pace time and time again with a spin even in this Grand Prix. That is going to be swept under the rug as it will be overshadowed by JMO's victory here in China as he rounds off the last few turns in the Chinese Grand Prix here in Tier 3. JMO round the last turn, and JMO onto the straight, over the line. JMO wins the Chinese Grand Prix in Tier 3. Mistake by FX and Sply for not pitting under the safety car. And JMO just has better grip, better pace, and gets a better result. JMO is champion of the Chinese Grand Prix.
Yeah, strategy was key there. Apparently finished 15 seconds ahead. We all know that's not true. It's a timing glitch. But yeah, that was just solid pace at the end there. Unfortunately, like I say, safety car was very fortunate for him. But like I say, his oppositions did not take that opportunity to pit, and they've lost from it. So, all respects to Side Effects for great initial pace and great start before the safety car. But again, like I say, a mistake not pitting under the safety car has cost him, and has cost him a victory here. JMO will now be first place. He's now going to be leading the championship after Maldini finishing 4th place, as they were, JMO was 7 seconds behind from Australia, and then the last few cars to finish through. But yeah, JMO will take the lead by about 12, but he'll be leading by about 5 points now, I think, after all that. But yeah, you just knew that he was going to win in his mediums. You knew he was going to find a way through, find a pace and find a way through and get that victory. Like I say, maybe Side Effects didn't have any set of mediums left. Maybe he only had the one set that he brought and went softer on his tyre allocation and didn't have the option to pit, which is all fair enough. That was the case. But yeah, JMO victory here at China puts him into the lead of the championship, a good 5 seconds ahead of Maldi. He was probably still be 2P2 in the championship now, but JMO takes the lead of the championship in the Alpine here at China. And here are your finish results. Obviously, JMO does not have the fastest lap of the race. He did not get a 1:25.5. This is not F1 2020. He would have had the fastest lap. It would probably in Krago, if I wouldn't be surprised. Chaos had a 1:30.6. That's obviously not the case either. I don't actually know who had it. Tekkas had a 27.5. What the hell?
I believe it was JMO. We had a 1:25.5, but
yeah, I think it was. I think it might have been. No, 25.5. That's like 6 seconds fast. That's like 7 seconds faster than qualifying.
Yeah, I don't know. The timing glitch.
I think it might have been JMO. I wouldn't be surprised if it was anyway, unless it was Krago on a softs at one point. But even not Krago didn't even get the fastest lap anyway compared to everyone else. But yeah, here is your great results. JMO Side Effects, Sply, Maldi. Unfortunately, couldn't catch up to Sply in the end. Moncho P5, Algi P6 in the end. Alpha Z P7. Yelaz P8, Chaos managed to get to P9 in the end despite the AI pitting him. Cargo P10, and you got Krago P11, Motorfish P12, Mal P13, Rafita P14, Papa Levels P15, Memo P16, and DNS for Red, Tekkas, and Lead. Just about in time.
Yeah.
Now let's try and get JMO into the party.
I mean, I don't know why on earth Side Effects or I forgot the other man's name. The Aston Martin didn't pit either. I mean, just I don't know why I couldn't make out a decision why they would even do that. I think maybe they just thought that JMO was gonna pit on potentially just softs and then just burn it out to the end, but no. He went into those medium times which were more suitable towards the end, and yeah, he wins the Grand Prix.
Yeah, just waiting for Jamo to join the party, whether he will or not. Just quickly, Maddie, while you're in here, can we get Sply and Side into the party? You know, if they're available to talk. Probably not. Okay. Is Jamo going to join or not? Oh, great. Okay. Oh, here he is. Jamo, if you can include Georgia, please.
Yeah, included.
Right, it was a brilliant race. In the end, great results. It's fortunate safety car. Fortunately, I would have said gifted you the leads for the tyres, and you won the race despite being about 15 seconds off the pace of the leaders at one point. But yeah, the safety car definitely came to you there, and you managed to get the victory out of it. Great race in the end there. Just give us a rundown of your race and how the safety car really gave you the option to get that victory in the bag.
Just very boring race. Because I saw no one basically the whole race. I spun, if you saw that. You see that?
Yeah, I did say that.
And I lost like 4 seconds because of that. And then I was just so far off the pace. And then safety car just helped massively.
Well,
Yeah, I still had to overtake 2 cars though, so it's not like it gave me.
It was like I said, you still had to get over them. I was expecting it was a bit more of a challenge for them, to be honest. But I don't want to questionable why they didn't pit themselves. But yeah, so
I was
I know
surprised.
you're not much
Side probably deserved it because he was fucking rapid.
yeah, he was. He was very quick. I think he was about 15 seconds ahead of 16 seconds ahead of you at one point. So yeah, I know you're not a big interview person, but yeah, still great result.
First win in STB.
Yep, first win here.
I've stopped the
Tier 3.
I've stopped the fucking consecutive P2s now.
Yeah, and it puts you ahead of the championship of Maldi by I think it's about 5 points.
5?
Before something like that.
Where
It must
did
be
Maldi
something
finish?
like
it's
that.
6. It's 6 points. Maldi finished
Points.
P4. I want to ask
He got
you,
12
Jamo,
points.
about your opinions, on this
No,
battle that might be coming up.
Maldi's not getting interviews. Maldi's didn't finish on the podium. Maldi's not
Yeah,
getting
he's not getting nothing.
No, just not getting an interview. So
I mean, I don't
Maldi
think
will
he'll.
finish P4.
You
I don't
say
think
you
so.
might as well.
Maldi. So yeah, that is your Challenge Grand Prix here for Tier 3. Please come again next week as we return to Abu Dhabi. It's only been about 5 weeks, 6 weeks since we did Abu Dhabi last season. So please come back for us then for Abu Dhabi for Tier 1 as we come back in the Combaldi. We'll be back in the Combox then. Hopefully actually have a decent race for once in my life. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching and we will be back in Abu Dhabi for next week.